Obviously, good win. Happy for the guys. I thought it was as well-rounded as we played from the opening kickoff, on the kickoff return, special teams, offense, defense, kicking field goals. I thought it was as well-rounded as we can be. So credit to the guys. As I told them, we feel like we're doing something different. They're doing the same things. They've just worked and worked and worked and gotten better and better and better. I'm especially proud of those seniors. 30 of them, all different, different journeys to get here. But especially the guys who've been here for a long time. They've been through 3 coaches, different ADs. They've as I said earlier, they've stood in the gap. It's not easy to do, in a place with expectations like this, and they've done it. So I was really happy for them to be able to grab that trophy, and they've never seen it before, and hold it and bring it in the locker room. So happy for them. Happy for last year's seniors. It was great to see, the Ethan Pipers, the Taggies, the Reimers, the guys who, we weren't able to get them there last year. I promised them last year that I'd fly them to the bowl game. So I was happy that we can guarantee a couple more weeks, and we can bring those guys from last year hopefully to the bowl game this year. So
you wanted the players to do this. You said that they're going to be the guys that do it. Your offense certainly did that today. What accounts for how well your offense played from the very first drive until the final touchdown?
Well, Sam, it's I just can't have a good moment, right? Me, I have to always be whatever. But even at halftime, I was like, we turned the ball over on the 20-yard line, so they gave our offense did. We missnapped it on third down for again. We had a penalty after a touchdown that led to a good kickoff return. So we dropped a couple touchdowns. So there was still a ton of plays that were left out there. I just think Dylan was really on, and we ran the football really well. Jacory worked the middle of the field. But, I thought Emmett was, first 100-yard rush for the season. But, also catching the ball in the backfield. The tight end showed up. The ball went to where it was supposed to be. We were able to protect the quarterback. So I just think, they went out and they executed. And when we executed, we scored. When we didn't execute, we struggled to score. But that's my point. There was no new plays. I had to call timeout a couple times because Dana was, tripped up trying to get the words out. And because, he knew what he wanted. And a lot of plays, some of the other coaches helped him with. I thought it was great collaborative by those guys on the sideline.
Can you speak to the rhythm that your offense found into the first half and then into the second half, just the rhythm and play calling and just the way that the offense moved?
Yeah, I think, if you go back throughout the course of the year, we've had a lot of drives killed by penalties and things like that. I thought there was no negative plays, right? So last week, I know you guys asked me about pushing the ball on the field. I said, well, we were able to get the ball in the quarterback's hand. Every ball kind of went forward, right? It's like playing like links golf, just keep knocking it down the fairway. And today we were able to do that, but also make some explosive plays. But the players made the explosive plays. The players made people miss. Like Emmett was untackleable at times today, right? So I thought that was another component to it. And then we were probably, more aggressive in the fourth quarter. As I've talked about, me looking at it and saying, hey, how do you kind of challenge and change the way that we're going to play to be a little bit more explosive? And we threw the ball more in the fourth quarter than I normally would. And Dylan made those plays. He made great decisions. He put the ball where they needed to be. And even I don't know how many we scored, but 44. We probably could have scored 55, with a couple balls hit our hands and we had to kick field goals. So, credit to those guys for coming out and making the plays.
What does it mean just to advance the program forward at this point, to finally get over this hurdle that's blocked the program since 2016?
Well, I think there's obviously a psychological component to it, but there's also a physical component to it. And as I said when I was talking to the production, you think the last 7 years Wisconsin's been in a bowl game. That's roughly 15 practices a year. That's 105 practices that their players have had of development that we haven't had. And so, this is a great way to send off the seniors. It's also an opportunity for us to continue to develop our players. And then kind of the cloud that kind of hangs over everything, it's gone. This will be the last time we ever celebrate 6 wins. But as I've told our players, it's always the hardest to do it, because it's always hard to be the first to do it, right? Everyone's always, your own self. You're questioning, is this right? Is that right? Once you do it, it's like, okay, this works. I trust it now. And so I can't thank, Ty and Giff and Nash and all those guys enough. Bryce's, they've trusted it. And, whether it was Buschini putting the ball out of the 2, it just comes down to players making plays. And so I hope as we come in tomorrow, our players have a much better picture of what's possible when you do things at the level they're capable of. And, we've gotten to a bowl game. We have another opportunity on Friday to go play another game and a rivalry game, and it should mean a lot to us.
What kept your confidence during this tough stretch here, the 4-game losses, and then keeping this team together? You make some personnel changes. But what made you believe in this team so much?
Well, it's like, again, it's the third time I've done this, and I'm in the same exact spot that I've been every other time, right? So it's just kind of like, the hard thing now is, you see other people that are doing it faster in different ways, and so that, I guess that makes sense. Like, why people say, well, why didn't we do this? Why did we do that? But, I was just trusting in what I saw, and like I said, at USC, me and Troy were talking this week. I said, you get a defensive pass interference missed call on the one and the one on the goal line. If we score one of those 2 touchdowns, does everyone now believe that what we're doing is right? So, but again, as I said to you guys, I wasn't going to worry about the refs. I was just going to worry about trying to play better. And I think the guys are just getting better. We have a freshman quarterback out there. Like, he's going to get better every week, right? Like, we have young players. We have guys who have. So I just think seeing the guys, seeing the way they work every day, knowing that they're here. They hear all the noise, and they probably have their own questions. Like, Coach, you're working us really hard, and we're not getting what we want. But no one's ever accomplished anything in life by quitting halfway through. And one of the quotes, and I think it was James Clear who said this, whether something's a success or failure usually depends on when you measure it. So if you measured it last week, you would say, boy, they're failing. Today, you might say, boy, they're being successful. And so I just prefer to take the long approach. There's unbelievable leadership here, whether it's, President Gold, whether it's Troy Dannon, whether it's Governor Pillen, whether it's all the people that support the program. All the people have just kept saying to me, like, hey, we trust you, just keep doing it. And I keep saying that to the players. And I think you saw a team today that, a lot of questions you guys asked me this week was, hey, where's their head at? Like, I thought you saw a team today that obviously believes in what we're doing.
What was your immediate emotion? You know when you're going to win. There's probably about 3 minutes left. You're up 19. What is the emotions that flood over you, and what did you see from your team?
I was. It was important to me that those, because Wish came over to me and said, hey, those guys need to go grab that trophy, and I had forgot that there was a trophy, and not because we haven't had it. It's just not the way my brain really works that way. But I was like, I just can't tell you like how much Ty Robinson means to me. I just can't express it. I can't express how much. Those guys have meant to me, and I don't know that everyone's always treated them fairly. I don't know that like those guys. I don't know if anyone understands what they've had to endure here. It's just hard to be a player and have different coaches. It's just so hard, right? And I've seen the look on their face coming off the field after UCLA. I've seen the look on their face coming off the field, and just me like being like, what else can I do for them? So honestly, Sam, today my speech to them in the locker room was, I would give anything to do this for you, but I can't. You have to go do it, And so my emotion was that I wanted them to have that moment, and then then I was just trying to get off the field. They wanted to interview me with the Big Ten, and they took a long time, and I got a little bit choked up there too, because I just they've worked so hard, and I wanted them to have this.
I know how much you stress the middle 8 portion of the game, even that 13-0. Just how much of a lift did that give you guys going in the locker room with how that half finished and everything?
Yeah, no doubt. I thought we did a nice job at the end of the half of scoring a touchdown, right, and then getting the field goal, and then calling the out of bounds play, and then John. Credit to John. Just think about what he's done to improve this year. I mean, from like, man, there were days. I don't want to say this to embarrass. There was a day or two when we kicked field goals in practice where he didn't make one. And I told you guys, I sat there that day talking to him when he was in the hot tub, and I was like, hey, you'll get through this at some point, I promise you. And just to see him, just the faith we had in him. But that was really important coming out of the half. We could have had a touchdown there too coming out of the half. I think the biggest thing, and I think credit to Coach Holgorsen, what he's brought to the offense. Maybe it's play calling. I think the biggest thing he's brought is a little bit of swagger to them of like, we threw the touchdown to Nayor, but he was out of bounds, right? So. Typically that would be like, oh my gosh, we're snake, and he was just like, let's do it again, and then we threw a touchdown 2 plays later. So I thought that aggressive mindset of like, hey, we're going to keep going, guys, until they pull us off. We're going to keep going. I thought that was good at the end of the half.
Was the play up front on offense? Was it as good as last week? Was it a continuation of last week?
I have to see it on tape, but I thought we controlled the game. I don't know what the final yards rushing were. I don't know what the numbers were.
28.
That's Wisconsin, like that's a tough physical team, and they held Oregon last week to 16 points. Like they held Penn State. Penn State scored a late touchdown to make it 28. No one the whole year. I don't think it was maybe Alabama that scored this many points on them. So I would assume that we ran the ball well. I thought we were able to drop back and throw the ball on first and second down without any heat coming at us, and guys executed like the play to Emmett down the sideline. I don't know if you guys remember that. That's just that's the hot, and that's just Dylan doing his job and Emmett getting his head around. So, it looked to me, but I'll have to watch the tape. It looked to me like we really ran the ball well. And the drive before the half, we were in kind of a 2-minute mode, but we were in 12 personnel. We were in 2 tight ends, and that allowed us to kind of have a run-pass mix. And I just think that's I don't think that was planned. That just kind of Dana was feeling it, and the guys were moving the ball. So I would think so, but I'd have to watch the tape.
Is there any part of this that's a feeling of relief?
Yes, 100%, 100%. And again, it's relief in that I've got the benefit of doing this twice before, and staying like I think I said to you guys like when I made the change with Dana. Like I look at the weight room, I look at the training room, I look at sports science, I look at sports psychology, I look at the player development, I look at the recruiting, I look at all the things we're doing and believe it's all right and it's all going to pay off in a big way. It's just I look at the players and they're coming in every day, and then it's a close loss, and then it's a close loss. Will this work? Will this work? Will this work? And I would have liked to have gotten our 6th win a long time ago. But there's something really important to us about playing Wisconsin. To be quite honest with you, Julie and I sat there 2 years ago, and we watched the Wisconsin game. And it looked like it wasn't going to work out where I was going to come be the head coach, just couldn't make things work. I remember watching that game and watching Wisconsin it was a close game, and then Wisconsin just kind of beat us up on the line of scrimmage and pull away at the end of that game. And then soon thereafter, Trev and I were able to work some things out before the Iowa game. So to come, full tilt 2 years later, to be able to run the football in the game, to be able to stop the run, yeah, I'm proud of them, but it does feel like relief, and it feels like relief because I want those older players to leave here. Like Giff kept saying, as he was walking out halftime, I want to change the program forever. And just obviously we're not where we were in the '90s. We're not there. I'm saying just in terms of we're not snake bit. There is no curse. You got to just go play good football. And if you play good football, good things will happen. So we'll have to do that again Friday versus a great team.
Sounds like Corey Barney put together a career high in receptions and yards as well. How special has it been to see him grow throughout the season?
Yeah, Jacory's one of the most competitive guys I've ever been around. He's one of the hardest working guys, and what I like about him is, he doesn't really we're not out there trying to scheme guys up to get open. Coach is calling plays, and Jacory runs a route as hard if he's the first progression as if he's the 4th progression. He runs every play like it's the last play of his life, and he's out there catching punts. He's out there catching kickoff returns, and I thought the game started off at a really, really good note with the way he started off with that kickoff return. And so you think about our special teams and where we were at Purdue to where we are now, where we're kicking the ball, we're punting the ball down to the 5-yard line, we're turning kicks out past the 50. I wish it would have happened earlier, but guys like Jacory, when they want to play special teams, I think it lights everybody else up. Hey, I can do this. And we had a bunch of starters out there playing on the special teams today.
All good.
Last question. Is this the Emmett Johnson you guys just thought you were going to see this season?
I don't want to say I don't say that. Make sure I couch it the right way. I just think Emmett's got. Emmett's like all of our guys on offense. There's probably as you go through the season, you're not scoring enough points. You start to lose maybe a little the confidence, maybe in what we're doing, maybe not even in yourself. But Emmett to me was a game breaker today. He was a difference maker. I wish Ramir could have been out there. Obviously Ramir Johnson. If you guys knew the things he's overcome this year to be out there, it's just amazing person. But it was Emmett, and I thought he played really, really hard. And then Dante, some big crucial runs on 3rd down, and one even to score the touchdown. I thought the backs hit it and played we have a lot of Carter Nelson. Carter Nelson's out there playing. Then he makes a tackle on kickoff. There's a lot of guys. If they just stop at the end of the year and catch their breath and look up, they've really gotten better over the course of this year. And now we have a couple extra weeks of bowl practice to try to get them even to another level.
Matt, what do you do to celebrate?
What will I do to
celebrate?
Yeah, I'm not talking about that, guys. Don't ask me. I won't talk to you.